This is a 2016 Honda HR-V, and I find this to be very impressive. My garage is not, the floor is not perfectly flat. I have the same 4 jack stands set to the same exact height because I'm going to do the all the fluids, and I want to have them at the same level. And after I lifted the vehicle, I noticed it's not even holding on to this jack stand because the floor is not even. And even when I try to move the car, it's on there solid, which means it's got a very solid frame, or the frame is bent, but either way it doesn't flex in any way. I don't think the frame is bent. I think my garage floor is not even. As you can see, this is not the same level, so it's an add-on to the garage, and you can see this crack, and all the water comes over here. So I know my floor is not even. So I found this to be very cool, where the whole car is up only with 3 jack stands. I try adjusting it by lifting at the front right corner, so it'll put a little bit more pressure on the rear right. I lift it up by 1 click, and now this one moves. Well, I tried. The whole car probably weighs 1.5 tons, and each one of the jack stands are rated for 6 tons, even though I don't trust it. It should be fine. Just gotta remember that it's standing up with the 3 jack stands. But very impressive, very solid frame. Alright, since I'm underneath the car, let's do a little bit of video. You can hear the dripping sound on the side. This is the CVT transmission for the HR-V. It's draining from here, and this was the plug. It's a 3/8, and you can see some gunk on there. I'll replace that with a new crush washer. You fill it through here. I'll do that later. And there's a vent all the way on the top. I removed that so it's easier to drain. And on this side, the oil is draining from here. This was a 17 mil, and oil filter was here. So I'm gonna let them drain, I don't know, overnight or whatever, because I'm gonna do the brakes on it too. I want everything out of here. The biggest thing is, looks like this is the transfer case, and I don't see a way to change the fluid on this. My guess is this is all in the same fluid. So this is the transfer case where the drive shaft goes back there, and there is a fluid for the differential, but the transfer case looks like it doesn't take any fluid. I couldn't find any instruction for it, so that was my biggest concern, whether I need to change the fluid on this or not. Looks like it's the same fluid as the CVT trans fluid. Okay, I was gonna do this later, but since I just took it for a drive and this is warm, well, warmish, I will drain this fluid as well. Looks like this is the drain plug, and the fuel plug is on the other side, right here. I don't know if you can see it, up here somewhere. Where is it? Let me see. Oh, there it is. So I'll open this, I'll loosen it, and then I'll open that, and they're both 3/8. So right now I'm draining the rear differential, and I open both sides, and the front one I can still hear it's draining, and this is going to drain for a long time, so I'm going to let it drain. And to open the 3/8, this is my ratcheting breaker bar. So far this has been my most favorite tool, and I'm going to let it drain as long as it drains. I might let it drain for overnight, and that's the big difference with doing it in the shop, because they'll let it drain for maybe a few minutes. And here's the gunk. You can see how much metal is on there. That's not good. Well, it's normal. This is magnet over here. And I'll replace the crush washer with copper crush washer, and I'll do the fill. Most likely I'll be doing that tomorrow. So I'll get started on the brakes. Here are all the plugs I pulled out. This is the oil drain plug. Looks like no one ever replaced the crush washer on this before, so I'll put a new one on. This is the only one that's going to be aluminum, because I don't have a copper one for that. This one is a fill plug for the trans. This is the drain plug for the trans. This is the drain plug for the rear diff. This is the fill plug for the rear diff. I like how they're all different size, and so you can mix them up. And the cross washers are a little bit different size too. The drain plugs takes this one, 1826 by 2, and the fill plugs take that one, 2028 by 2. So I'll be replacing all of these with copper ones. So I gotta clean up these metal particles, so I'll do that afterward. And after that I will just fill this up. All crush washers are replaced, and now I'm going to install them. Because it's hard to install and film at the same time, I'm not going to bother showing any of that. I think this is relatively simple. For transmission fluid, I'm going to use the Castrol. This one, that's the part number. Normally with the automatic transmission fluid flush, I would put some Lucas, but not this time, because I don't know too much about CVT, and I have no idea what this is going to do CVT, so I'm going to use this one and no other additive for it. And to pour it in there, I'm going to modify a hose through here and pour it down from the top instead of trying to pump it up from the bottom. Hoping that would help me out a little bit. There, I modified this plastic hose, and this should make my life much easier. For oil change, I use a quart of full synthetic Lucas oil stabilizer, Castrol, the one that goes 20,000 miles, and Fram. That's my favorite thing to use. They say they're good for 20,000 miles, but I don't know. I do oil change every year, somewhere around 5 to 10,000 miles on my BMW. I'll push it up to 15,000 if I drive that much, but I'll do oil change once a year anyway. For rear diff, I'll use this fluid made by Honda. I couldn't find anything made by Castrol for that, so let's go with the genuine Honda. I'm using this method to fill the rear diff. Still using the little valve thingy with that tube cut out to short. It's working out well. Here are all the old fluids. Engine oil, right about 5 quarts. Rear diff, right around 2 quarts. And transmission / transfer case, right around 6 quarts. So time to clean up. When I do all the fluids, I like to do add this, or let me see another one. That to the coolant. This acts as a rust inhibitor, which will prevent rust in the radiator and leak. So you just extend the life of the radiator.